quick video in an Asian squat. So my 2020 quote, you're very hard to control when you're healthy. You're very hard to influence when you're clear. And you're very hard to manipulate when you're sovereign, or something along those lines. And people have reached out to me. They're like, isn't this your quote? Because it's getting shared again. It's like, yeah. And I looked at it, and from who I was in 2020, at that point, that quote made total sense. Still makes sense. But I'm not 2020 version, and we change every 5 minutes to every second to every month, especially when symptomatic or with injuries. That's the point of them, is to create a metamorphic change to the extent that we want it. So my updated version was, you are very hard to control when you're honest. You're very hard to influence when you're, authentic. And you're very hard to manipulate when you're fully accountable. Something along those lines, right? And so the words healthy, clear, and sovereign were changed with honest, authentic, and fully accountable. And I just want to verbally and video-wise share from an Asian squat to expand upon it, because it needs to be understood. The most honest version of yourself. So body only heals. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you read. It doesn't matter what clothes you wear. It doesn't matter. The body just heals. That's it. 100%, no matter what. We are gifted this. This is what we are granted to keep us here. It's brought us this far, from wherever you think our origin is from to everything now. Hi, thank you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You too. And so the body only heals. Every symptom, all symptom, and then injuries are supposed to happen to give you an understanding of what symptoms are, and then understanding your life to a deeper level through symptoms is what has you understanding how to gain wisdom and gain ability and gain understanding in a relationship with yourself, to then understand how to relate with others, or how to relate to anything outside of yourself, whether it's the cosmos or a fucking person down the street. So your most honest expression of you are your symptoms and your injuries. No matter what words you say, your body will not lie. It tells the truth for you. So symptoms and injuries outside of health, because we say being healthy. Well, the word healthy has us being when you're symptom-free and injury-free. That's when you're healthy. And if you have symptoms and injuries, you're not healthy. That's not true. And that's what I'm here to say now. When you have symptoms and injuries, that's when you're at your most healthiest. That's when you're most healthiest. That's when your highest expression of health are symptoms, are injuries. That's when you're at your most honest version of yourself. So to be what the hell? I had to look back up what the words were. So it was control, healthy, manipulate, clear, and influence, sovereign. So somebody who's honest and who isn't ashamed of their symptoms or injuries, and who is understanding that they're there for them, that they're a part of their life, they're absolute essential to their existence, and that is the treasure map to more life and more understanding of themselves and more trust with themselves. Do you know how powerful somebody who trusts themselves is? Or do you know how dangerous that person is? You can't control a person who trusts themselves, because you have no carrot to dangle in front of them that would entice them to want to give up on themselves. So healthy, replace it, honest. And not just saying good words and saying 10 commandments and saying I did right and I'm a good boy and I'm a good girl and mom, dad, I have the job and I have the wife and I have the kid and I have the husband. And no. Your most honest version of yourself. That is why that person is hard to control, because that person trusts themselves. Now let's go to, what did I say? Manipulate when you're clear. Everything is manipulation. My God. Ads, marketing, all over the place. Everything is trying to manipulate a person. Well, I had when you're clear. Now I have when you are authentic. Because again, now your body's most honest version of yourself is with symptoms and injuries. That's leading you to your most authentic version of yourself. And that doesn't mean symptom-free and injury-free. That doesn't mean I do whatever I want because I'm authentic. No. That means you are authentically living from a standpoint of how your body responds. You are owning that. You are fully responsible, because with authenticity comes accountability and responsibility. And that authenticity is coming from honesty. That honesty is coming from symptoms and injuries. That means you're fully accountable and responsible to your symptoms and injuries. That is not what the world is doing. Everybody's trying to find the thing to blame immediately. It's mold, it's toxins, it's conflicts, it's traumas, it's moms, it's dads, it's husbands, it's alcohol, it's shrooms, it's dyes, it's blood work, hormones, it's flat feet, it's mattresses, it's genetic mutations. I mean, it's never going to end. So again, to manipulate somebody, easy to do with somebody that doesn't trust themselves, or easy to do with somebody that doesn't even know who they are. You can sell anybody anything when they're just floating around or drowning in an ocean and don't understand that they have the ability to swim. They just have to remember that they do. So changing the word clear with authentic, and authenticity is the strongest emotion ever measured, updated since love and gratitude. Everyone's like, if I'm not in love and I'm not in gratitude, I'm not going to manifest my dreams, and I'm not, like attracts like, and I'm scared to be resentful. Like, what the fuck? Can you feel love and grief are on just a continuum, right? Gratitude and resentment are just a continuum. They're not, it's not like a butterfly and a raccoon. The caterpillar is the butterfly. The butterfly is the caterpillar at all times. So it's all the time, but that authenticity coming from that honesty, you can't manipulate and control somebody who's honest, meaning understands their truest, most honest version of themselves, which is their symptomatic injury version of themselves, and then taking full accountability, full responsibility, and full accountability to create the most authentic version of themselves, even if they're like, I'm going to be alcoholic, or I'm going to be an addict, and I'm going to be the best one that's ever been. Instead of hiding and living in shame because addiction is shameful and depression is shameful, and you being higher and more swollen, higher weight and more swollen is shameful, and you got to hide that until you fix that. You can't show the world who you truly are. You can't control people who are authentic and who are honest, even if they be the most prolific alcoholic on the fucking planet. The physiology and chemistry in that person is completely different than somebody experiencing the same expression but has to hide or feels ashamed of their body, feels ashamed of their body's most honest version, which is symptoms and injuries. Now bring it to, what did I say? You're very hard to influence when you're sovereign. Now you're very hard to influence when you're, what did I say? What did I update it with? I just updated it today, so forgive me. What did I update it with? Healthy was changed to honest. Oh, it's fully accountable, or fully responsible, fully accountable. Clear was changed to authentic. And sovereign, which was a word that everyone was just like misusing back in 2020. I had no idea what the sovereign, yet outsourcing and blaming everything for their symptoms and hiding from their symptoms and fixing their symptoms. Like sovereign and symptoms go hand in hand, not absence of. And so it's, again, you are very hard to influence when you are fully accountable, because again, that person has nothing that anyone can offer to try to manipulate, control, or influence them. They have nothing. And that is one of the deepest reasons why our symptoms and injuries are the way they are, and why we cannot look to them as being something that is unnatural, an unnatural state of a human, an unnatural, unhealthy, wrong. No, my God. So on the deeper end of things, go into those quotes, the 2021, dissolve it, bring it up to 2025, and think about what those words are that I replaced them with. Think about the depths of them, and think about if you're even ready to say them. because again, they're just words until you take actions on them, and then you're taking actions on your beliefs. Until then, they're just words, and a lot of people are copying words nowadays, obviously.